And welcome back to the channel. Simulations offer a safe and controlled environment to explore complex scenarios and potential conflicts before they arise in the real world. By mimicking real life situations, simulations allow individuals and organizations to test different strategies, identify potential pitfalls, and develop effective responses. This proactive approach can help to de escalate tensions, promote understanding, and prevent conflicts from escalating into full blown crises. In international relations, for example, simulations can be used to model potential conflicts between countries, allowing diplomats and policymakers to explore diplomatic and military strategies. By simulating various scenarios, they can better anticipate the consequences of their actions and make informed decisions that prioritize peaceful resolution. Similarly, in business setting, simulations can be used to model potential conflicts between employees or departments. By simulating these scenarios, managers can identify potential sources of conflict and develop strategies to address them proactively. This can lead to improved communication, collaboration, and ultimately a more harmonious and productive work environment. Overall, simulations provide a valuable tool for understanding, predicting, and preventing conflicts, ultimately contributing to a more peaceful and prosperous world. As we talked about, simulation is being used in many fields of studies, from hard sciences like mathematics, physics, chemistry, biology, to humanities and social sciences like psychology, sociology, literature. We could say that simulation can be used in all aspects of our lives and is a very powerful tool to predict what's going to happen in the future with the setting we have now. One area that today we're going to talk about is area of social science, and specifically we're talking about cooperation. In this channel, we previously talked about how cooperation is more powerful tools than competition. Cooperation among people around the world and among different cultures and ethnicities would bring about more powerful result than competition. Of course, different people from different background may have different talents, but all these talents together could bring about a better future for future generations and for us as we live on this earth. So today, we're gonna simulate certain social science aspect of our life, and we're gonna focus on that. As you can see, this website net logo web is going to give us a chance to search certain models and simulate. You could go over here and choose any models you want. As you can see, you have social sciences, we have like chemistry, physics, many areas of study. You could choose your model and play around with this simulation. But today, specifically, we're gonna talk about ethnocentrism. So let's first see what is the definition of ethnocentrism. Here says ethnocentrism evaluation of other cultures according to preconceptions originating in the standards and customs of one's own culture. So it means that we evaluate other cultures, like other ethnicities, other group of people, according to our own standards, our own culture's standard. So if I come from a certain ethnicity or certain cultures, I base that as evaluation metric, as a benchmark, and then start to evaluate other cultures. And here it says ethnocentrism in social science and anthropology, as well as in colloquial English discourse, means to apply one's own culture or ethnicity as a frame of reference to judge other cultures. So let's see what are examples of ethnocentrism. So one example here is judge others based on their food preferences. If someone grew up with certain foods, is gonna make those certain foods and cuisines as a standard that everyone needs to be exposed to those diet, and then start judging other foods. So if a food is not existed in my diet or my culture, so if I see other group of people or other cultures eat that food, it looks like strange to me, but in reality they could look at my diet as strange, because they could judge exactly the same way as I judge them, they could judge my diet too. Another one is judge others based on their clothing style, and judging others based on their language. So, how a language sounds like is something that sometimes people judge other languages, because we are uh, we grew up with certain actually languages, and those languages kind of is coded within us, the sound and everything. And when we hear other languages, maybe we judge it in a certain way, because those languages are not the same as we grew up. And usually here it says often assuming English is should be the default. Although English is the third most populous language, I think is the third after Mandarin and Spanish, but maybe because English is the language of science, and in certain international settings English is being used, so maybe they choose that as default. And let's see, what is ethnocentric behavior. Ethnocentrism is an attitude characterized by the glorification of one's own group and the defamation and discrimination of other groups. So it's kind of uh, this is also coded in many people, that they think that maybe their culture is the best culture, or that ethnicity is the best ethnicity, and so this is also a type of thinking that could exist around the world. Okay, let's go over the model and the simulation and see how it's gonna work here. It says horizontal lines are altruistic. So those horizontal lines, that those are the ones that cooperate with everyone. Vertical lines are ethnocentric, means cooperate with the same, not with different, as we went over the definition. Crosses are cosmopolitan. So the one that, as you can see, there are crosses here. The one that cooperate with different, not the same. And dots are egoistics. Egoistics, it means cooperate with no one. So the dots, probably if we run this simulation, the dots is going to disappear the fastest, because this already says cooperate with no one. So, and you have certain variables here, that mutation rate, death rate, we have immigration per day and other thing. But let's go, and there is here about model info, you could just go over it and read more details. Okay, let's go over it and run this model and see how it's gonna work. It looks like, as we predicted, the dots are not uh, going to expand and increase in numbers. Uh, Actually, they're decreasing in numbers. So that was kind of obvious. So we have crosses. Those are the cooperate only with different, not the same. It seems crosses also is decreasing. So it means there are certain benefit to cooperate with the people, for example, I don't know, your own culture. So if only different, so I see a strong, uh, almost equal horizontal and vertical line. Actually, horizontal line is a little bit more than the vertical line. So vertical line is cooperate with same, not with different. That is also looks like in this model, in this simulation, is a powerful uh, way to go. Seems like it means cooperation with your own culture. uh, but here also there's a cooperation with everyone. It means cooperation both with your like own culture the same, and also different means different cultures. So this simulation could go uh, forward. As you can see here, we have immigrations per day 15. So there are new people entering to the system, and those 15 new people enter to the system or to a certain place. Those people could choose differently. Do they want to be egoistic? Do they want to be cosmopolitan? Do they want to be ethnocentric or altruistic? So they choose. uh, but it's kind of, if you think about it in a real world perspective, if an immigrant go to a system, usually they probably get help from the same group, the same culture. But at the same time, if they want to maybe they want to be more assimilated with the society, they need to also have cooperation with different groups. So as you can see here, you could go here to this website and see how our different models gonna work. As you witness, both altruistic and ethnocentric group have certain strengths. We have to consider that ethnocentric group only makes sense in a world that ethnicities and cultures always gonna stay separate and isolated. In a world that cultures and communities and people have more and more understanding of each other, the ethnocentric group essentially is gonna be the whole human family. And from that perspective, you see the strength of cooperation among all human on earth. I really want to know your idea. What do you think about this subject? And please subscribe and support my channel in order to spread the word of unity among people. Thank you.